Good morning, guys. Okay, chapter number is 13.3 and the midpoint of a line segment. And what is the line segment? So, if you want, you can use the place of line segment. It's just straight line, okay? Just line. 1 minute. Okay, so this line called straight line, okay? And the same time, you can use the line segment. Line segment, okay? So the midpoint is middle point, okay? Middle point of straight line, the midpoint of the line segment. The diagram shows two line segments, AB and CD. So we have two straight lines or two line segments, one of them AB and the second one is CD. And of course, they have the sum values, or how can I say, on a grid, this one is our grid, the sum values of x and y. If you remember, the first value was x and the second was y. Okay. For example, we have the points of A, the points 1, 2, 4. Am I right? Yes, the first value is every time always we will use the x, and the second one is y. And what is the point of B? 5, 2, 2. Okay. So the first value is x and second value must be y. Okay. And the CD also the same way you can follow. And how can you find the midpoint of from here 2 points? We need the midpoint of this straight line or line segments or middle values, or how can I say, midpoints. Okay, so this one is our line segment and we need the middle values. Okay, so the midpoint of AB is halfway between A and B, of course. If our line segment is approximately 5 centimeters, okay, 5 centimeter, and what is the middle value, or how can I say, what is the mean? If you remember mean, we had learned it was 2.5, or how can I say, uh, the halfway of the 5 is of course 2.5, but we need the middle value of 5 is 3. Yes, because the left side of the 3 we have two values, and the right side of the 3 also has two values. So we need from here also midpoints or means. How can you find? Because there we have some values, and how can we calculate them? Okay, what is the connection between 1, 4, 2, 5, 2? So the midpoint of AB is 3, 2, 3. A few minutes ago, there we have were 4 values just now. What? But here we have only 2 values. How can we simplify them, or how can we found the midpoint of this line segment? So okay, follow here. Follow me, please. First of all, write down our points. 1, 2, 4. Point of A and the point of B is 5, 2, 2. And what is the value of x is 1? The first value is x and the second value is y. And also in B, the x is 5 and the y is 2. And if you look there carefully, there we have two x's, and the sum of two x's are or is 1 plus 5 over 2. What was this? It was, of course, mean or average. 1 plus 5 is 6 over 2 is the mean of x is 3. Okay? X coordinates, for example, in the first line segment is 3. And the value of y, what is the mean of y? Also follow the same way. For the first value plus the second value and divided by 2, and the answer is or the midpoint of y is, the coordinates of y is 3. So as you see here, we have also 3, 2, 3. The first value is x, and the second value is y. And the first value, or the x, was 3, and y also 3. The midpoint of CD is 1. Let's check it. The mean of, or midpoint of CD is 1, 2, 0. How can we calculate it? First of all, write down the values of C, or points of C. Minus 1, 2, plus 3. What was the first value? Which letter? X. And the second value is, of course, Y. And what is the point of D? 3, 2, minus 3. And the first value is X, and the second was Y. Okay? So if you take a sum of x's, minus 1 plus 3 over 2 is 2 over 2 and 1. It was x. And what is the sum of y's? 3 minus 3 plus 3 over 2 is equal to 0 over 2 is 0. So the second, or how can I say, the midpoint of y is 0, and x is 1. And as you see here also, we have 1, 2, 0. Okay, and the first value is, don't forget, it's always x. X coordinates and y coordinates, okay, on grids, on a table. So you can find the midpoint of a line segment by finding the means, okay, finding the means of the x coordinates and the y coordinates of the endpoints. And as you see here also, we have a small rule. The mean of a and b is a plus b over 2. This gives the midpoint of AB as 1 plus 5, or how can I say, the first value of x, the first point value of x, and the second point of value x. Also 1 plus 5 is 6, or 2 is 3, and the second values of, or y value of y is also 3, x to y. And here also we have found that the x and y, or the midpoint of C, okay, CD, sorry, not C, CD is okay, let's show it in a first midpoint of the line segments. Where is our points? It was 3 to 3, 3 to 3, and the x was 3 and y was 3. In a grid, let's show it. Where is 3 is here, 3 point is here, and y also must be is equal to 3. So our midpoint is here, okay? So our midpoint is, for example, AB and a C, 3 to 3. And a second line segment, what was the midpoints of CD? 1 to 0. So the first value is always x. X must be 1, positive 1, and here positive 1, and a y was 0. Okay, just our line segment is here, or midpoint of this line segment is just 1. Okay, the next page we have some examples. The first worked example, 13.3. The diagram shows points P and Q. We have 2 points and their values. And the first value is x every time, okay, and always the second value is y. And also here you can follow x and y. Okay, on a grid we have the shape. The first value is where is P? The point of P. The points are 10 to 4. How can you find of midpoint of P, just P, or PQ? Okay, how can you find it? First of all, we should take a sum of x's, and the first value of x is 10, and the second value is of x is minus 4, and divided by 2. 10 minus 4 is 6, plus 6 over 2 is 3, our midpoint of x. And the second one, the sum of y's, 4 plus negative 6 over 2 is equal to 4 plus, or 4 minus 6 is minus 2, over plus 2 is equal to minus 1. So the midpoint of P and Q is our, the first one is x, 3, and the second value was minus 1, of course, y, okay? X and y, x to y. And as you see here, we have found already this is the x coordinates of the midpoint is 3, okay? And the y coordinate of the midpoint is minus 1. So answer is 3 to minus 1. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of each side of this pentagon. In pentagon has 5 sides, okay? It's not a regular pentagon. That's why the sides are not equal to each other. In regular pentagon, yes, must be all sides are equal, but here not regular pentagon, just pentagon. So the first point of A is, how can I find it? What is the value of x? X is our line segment, horizontal segments, okay? Straight line. The vertical line, always our y coordinate, okay? Y-axis and x-axis, okay? Don't forget. So what is the value of x on A? 1, 2. So I'm writing here 2. And what is the value of y? Of course, plus 4. So now we found the values of A, the point of A. A is 2 to 4. The first value is x and the second value is 4. Okay. And how can you find the midpoint of each side of this pentagon? For example, I want to find the midpoint of A to B. Okay. So that's why I need also the points of B. And what is the B of X? As we have 4. Yes. Plus 4. The first of all, we need the find x, and the second one is y is 2, positive 2. Okay, and the points of B is 4 plus 2. The first value is x, and the second one is y. So now from here, I can find the midpoint of AB. Okay, the straight line or line segment of AB. I can find of midpoint of these 2 points. How can I say points? Yes. And how can I find the of x? X, first x is plus, and the second x is 6, or 2 is 3. I'm writing just here, okay? And the second values always are the values of y coordinates. That's why y plus y is 4 plus 2 is 6, or 2 is 3. So our midpoint of just this line, this line segment of AB is 3 to 3, okay? And the other points, you'll find it. And then the next question, A is the point, there's we haven't any coordinates of X and Y, or the table of grids, or we haven't any shape. That's why, first of all, we need draw our grids, okay? Table, x-axis and y-axis, and the values, the first value of is x and the second one is y. First one is x, y, x, y. So here we can see the values of x and y, and the points we have. A is the point 8 to 0, and a B is a point 0 to 6, and a C is a point of 10 to 12. As you see here we have only positive values. Let's label the values of x. The first value is 8. I'm just writing shortly here, 8 and 10, okay? 10. And a 0 is, yeah, here, okay. And the y, 0 is here also. And a second value of y is 6, is here, plus positive 6. And a second or third or last value of y is 12. So what was the first point of A, values of A? A 8 to 0. Okay, it's here. It's A. Okay, 8 to 0. And what was the second point of B? 0x and the 6 is our y. That's why I'm writing here the values of b is 0 to 6. Okay, second point is first point and a second point. Okay, okay, and the last point of c is 10 is x and 12 is our y. Okay, c, the points of c is 10 to 12 because the first one is x and second one is y. Okay, so and as you see here, our graph is approximately like this, just triangle. Okay, triangle, maybe it's isosceles triangle, two sides are equal or not. Okay, find the midpoint of AB. So the point of A is here. Okay, A, B, and C. Find the midpoint or mean of AB. What is the mean of AB? I'm writing here AB. Oh, sorry. First of all, let's write the point of A. What was A? 8 to 0. What was B? 0 to 6. What was C? 10 to 12. And I need midpoint of AB. So first value and as first value, we'll just take the first values. 8 plus 0 is 8 or 2 is 4. Okay. And as second value or the values of y coordinates, 0 plus 6 is 6 or 2 is 3. So our midpoints or the mean of AB is 4 to 3. Where is 4 to 3? 4 is approximately here. 3 is approximately here. Our midpoint is here. Okay. So at this point, our midpoint or middle value of A and B. And the second one, B, option B, what is the AC? The midpoint of AC, the values of A and the values of C. And the first values are A and C is 18. The sum of first values is 18 or 2 is 9. And the second value is 0 plus 12 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. So the midpoint of AC is 9 to 6. There's 9 is here, 6 is here. So AC is approximately here. Okay. And B also, BC, also same way you can see, you can follow, you can find it yourself. And the next question, find the midpoint of line segment between 5 to -2 and 2 to -6. So if we'll take the first bracket, our A, 5 to -2, and the second uh, bracket is our B, is 2 -6. Okay. So now find the midpoint of the line segment. These points are our line segments. Okay. Let's draw the grids. It's y-axis and x-axis, and the values of A is 5, and the value of B is 2, is here, and -6, -6, and -2 is approximately here. Okay, so how can you find the midpoint of the line segment between? Yes, we need first of all finding the midpoint. So midpoint of these two brackets, two values, two separate values. How can you find it? 5 to 2 is 7 7 over 2 is 3.5. Okay, it's x-axis, and the second value is -2 and plus -6 is -8 or 2 is -4. Okay, the first value always will use the 3.5 is x, 3.5, and the second value is -4, approximately here. So the midpoint of AB is here. Okay, and the second brackets option, you can use the same way. First of all, write the separately the brackets, the values of A, the values of B, and you will find the midpoint of these two uh, separate values, okay, two brackets, and you label it on a grid, and you can draw. How can I find the what kind of the shape? Okay, I mean it was the last page. If you want, let's do together also this question. So the mean of A and B, okay, and B minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1 over 2 is 0.5, of course, with negative, yes, with minus. Minus 0.5 is x, or approximately is here, 0.5, of course, negative. And the second value of first bracket and the second value of the second bracket is 5 over 2 is 3 point, sorry, 2.5 approximately is here. 2.5 is here, and the midpoint of these two values are here. And the last one is minus 7, minus 10, minus 17 over 2 is 8.5 with negatives. 7.5 of x is here. 8, sorry, 8.5, negative 8.5, its first point, and the second point of uh, 5 plus 10 is 15 over 2 is 7.5. Of course, why? 7.5 is positive, and our point is here. Okay. Um, so I mean it's a straight line. It's just line segment, because also in question they have given a line segment. Okay, it means line segment, but I drew it not accurately. That's why it was not straight line. But if you carefully will draw the values, okay, the numbers, you'll find that it's of course approximately exactly a line segment. Okay, so thank you for the lesson. Mm, if you have questions, always I told you, if you have question, you can send me. If you have any problems, please look and hard work hard yourself at home. Okay, see you that next lesson.